How you guys doing? Today I'm going to be explaining how to play football. And in my class, I'll be teaching fifth graders. It'll be an elective. And I'm going to go through my whole entire lesson plan, all the objectives and things I'm going to teach during my class. My objective is going to be to make sure all the people I'm teaching know exactly how to play football and understand all the positions and different aspects of the game. For starters, while playing football, there's always 11 people on the field from each team, so it's 22 people in total. There's a lot of different phases in football. There's offense, defense, and special teams. I'm going to start with offense. The offense's objective is to move the football down the field, and they could do it in many different ways. One of the ways they could do it is by running the ball, just by handing it off to the running back. The other way they could do it is by the quarterback dropping back to pass and throwing the ball to different receivers that are all around the field. Now I'm going to go through everything that different positions on the field on offense have to do. First, it starts off with five players. There's the center, there's 2 guards and 2 tackles, and it goes like this, like center here, guard, guard, tackle, tackle. They're called the offensive line. Even though they have different names and their positions, they all do pretty much the same thing. They're all trying to block the defense, open up holes, and protect the quarterback, and open up holes for the running back, that is. What they do is they block the D linemen, like defensive ends and D tackles and linebackers, but I'll get to that later. So their job is very essential in the offense, because if they don't block, the play will get blown up real quick and there'll be nothing there for anybody to get any yards. The quarterback is behind the center. Whenever the quarterback wants to, or whenever he says down, sit, hut, or go, or whatever their cadence is for the team, the center snaps the ball to the quarterback. Once the quarterback has the ball in his hands, he either gives it to the running back, who's usually lined up near him, or passes it to a receiver who's lined up out wide across the field. There's usually 4 or 3 receivers, and it's also a tight end who's kind of a mix between an O-lineman and a receiver. He's a bigger receiver who's kind of slower, but he also blocks like the O-lineman. So he's kind of like an ace for offenses in this day and age, and a lot of tight ends are utilized a lot on different football teams. Players who play on the defensive side of the ball are doing everything in their power to stop the offense from scoring a touchdown. As I said earlier, when the ball moves down the field and gets into the goal of the other team, is a touchdown, and I'll get to the whole point system later, but the defense's job is to not let that happen at all. For starters, there's the defensive line. They go against the offensive line. There's 2 defensive tackles and 2 defensive ends. Their job is to rush the passer if it is a pass and the quarterback's throwing to receivers. Their job is to rush the passer and either make him hurry up and throw a bad ball, or strip sack the quarterback by tackling him, or if it's a running play, just to be a disruption and get in the backfield and just wreak havoc all game. That's the defensive line's job. They're also usually bigger guys, maybe 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", even 6'6", and pushing almost 300 pounds at some positions. Like the D tackles, the dudes in the interior, the 2 in the interior, they're usually bigger than the 2 on the outside. The 2 on the outside are a lot faster and they're more athletic usually. And there's different defenses where a coach might have a preference to size or speed or whatever, so it changes up a little bit. Behind the 4 defensive linemen, there's going to be 3 linebackers, and their job is to just back up the defensive line pretty much. If anything gets past them on a run play, they got to fill that hole and make that stop. And they also get active in the passing game, but instead of rushing the passer, they drop back and they help out with coverage and covering different spots of the field to make it harder on the quarterback and make it harder on the offense. The people in the back end of the defense are called the secondary, and those are defensive backs, and they're safeties, corners, strikers. Their job is to pretty much lock onto the receivers and stop the receivers from catching passes. So usually that's one of the most exciting matchups to watch when you're watching football, is when one team has a really good receiver and one team has a really good defensive back, because they get to go at it all game, and their job is just to beat one another on every single play. So those matchups are usually pretty cool to watch. Special teams is probably one of the more essential parts of the game of football, and you see it a lot on TV in big moments and in the fourth quarter, overtime. So it's really huge, and some people think it's even bigger than offense and defense. But now I'm going to explain exactly what special teams is. Special teams is any type of play where the ball is being kicked, whether it's an extra point, a field goal, a punt, and I'm going to get into all of these. All of those are considered special teams, even a kickoff as well. I'm going to start off with kickoff because it's the first play in every single football game. One team kicks the ball to the other. The team that's going on offense is the team that's catching the ball. The team that's going to be on defense is the team that's kicking the ball. So the ball gets kicked off the tee. 11 dudes run down and 11 dudes try to block, and that's called kickoff and kickoff return. Usually, if the ball is kicked into the far end zone, the person catching the ball, the kick returner, can just call a fair catch or take a knee, and they go straight to offense. They don't even have to take it out the end zone. It just goes automatically to offense. Next, I'm going to be talking about extra points. Extra points are after a touchdown. So if the offense does drive down the field and score a touchdown, the touchdown counts as 6 points. But the kick after counts as 1 point. And it's usually from the 2-yard line in college, and it's from the 15-yard line in the NFL. If a team wants to, they can go for a 2-point conversion instead of 1, and that's from the 2-yard line. A lot of teams do that at the end of a game if they're down by like 8 points or something, and they need 8 points instead of 7. That's exactly what they do. They'll go for a 2-point conversion. There's also another special teams play called punt. The offense has 4 downs to get 10 yards, but usually it only takes 3. After 3 downs, if they still have a long way to go, they could punt the ball away, and wherever the other team catches the ball, that's where they'll pick up and they'll start going the opposite way. So they basically punt their possession away to the other team. The 2 phases for this are punt return and punt, basically. So whenever you see a player holding the ball in their hand and kicking it and it's not on the floor, that's a punt, and that's the difference between a punt and a field goal. If the offense is close enough to the field goal post, the big thing that's shaped like this, kind of like a U. It's like usually orangish, yellowish. If they're close enough to kick a field goal, they'll kick one, and that counts as 3 points. That's the same goal that the extra point goes into. So basically, those are all the phases of special teams, and they're very crucial in every single game, no matter if it's Optimus, high school, college, NFL. It's always super important to be good at special teams for both teams. Just to recap of everything I talked about, so the offense's job is to get down the field and score touchdowns, and the defensive job is to stop them. Special teams is every single thing in between, field position, all those things like that. The point system is a touchdown is 6 points, an extra point is 1 point, a 2-point conversion is 2 points. If an offense is really close to their own goal and they get tackled in their end zone, it's called a safety, and this is the signal for safety, and that's 2 points for the team that tackled them in their own end zone. So yeah, basically that's everything, and really football is all about competition, and it's all about whoever wants it more and who can execute and be the more disciplined team. Those are usually the better teams, like the New England Patriots or Alabama. Another important thing, like I talked about before, is having a great quarterback at the helm, just like the Patriots have had Tom Brady for so many years, and they've been so successful because he's such a great leader and knows how to rally his guys. So all those are just factors that all come into having a great football team and just being the best they could be. Thank you. I'll also be adding a video down below just to give you guys anything I didn't cover and kind of just a recap of every single thing I talked about.